So this past November was actually only the second time in my life I voted. In 2008, the first time I could legally vote, I was working on my PhD and I had a little bit of a snafu in getting home to vote. And then 2016, I was juggling two different jobs and it kind of slipped my mind as well. But I learned from this election cycle that even the most important thing in the country, the president, is mostly decided by probably the people who care the least, right? You had a few solid voters on both ends of the spectrum, and no, nothing is going to change their opinion, right? And then you had this big majority of people who know the least about politics who are deciding who the president is going to be. And it makes me realize that we need to influence the people in the middle the most. So, for example, anytime I run into issues at the workplace, there's always people who are going I talked about in other videos of how there's a lot of bias against singles. Well, that's probably not going to change overnight. More importantly, I sometimes run into issues of needing various accommodations at the work site. I have sensitivity to fragrances, and sometimes people get very arrogant. It's my right to put on whatever fragrances I want. So you're not going to influence those people. But you have a few people who have sensitivities. You have a few people who insist on turning the office into a gas chamber. But both of those are minorities. The big majority is people who take neither side. And it makes me realize that I need to form a lot of alliances with the people in the middle, because those are the people who are ultimately going to decide the policy there. Same thing with the idea of the bias against the singles. You have a few people who are gung-ho about their family lives. You have probably even fewer people who think single lives matter, but most people are probably in the middle. So it makes me realize that we need to form friendships with across the office, right? Not just with the people who you want to fight with. Actually, you should care the least about those because you're not going to change them, right? Anyways, so the people who care the least often make the biggest decisions in life. That's the story I got from the election.